Okay, it was nice to get a win today. Our guys overcame a lot of things during the week as far as all the different things that the league had us do. We even had a couple things happen before the game that we had to overcome. But I was proud of the resiliency of the team today. We got a big turnover on the special teams on the punt. And then, defensively, I thought we played really good in the first half. And offensively in the second half, we did a great job of coming back after some big, after they scored a couple times. I thought Justin Jefferson made some outstanding catches. Kirk made some really good throws today. And, obviously Dalvin's a really, really good football player and runner, and the offensive line protected well. So anyway, it's good to get a win.
Mike, what did you have to overcome before the game that you had mentioned?
We had, during the week we had to take 2 tests every day. And so one of the tests came back of one of our starting players was a false positive. He had to take 2 more tests when we got to the stadium. And then we had 3 other guys that had inconclusive tests. And so they had to go retake tests again. So it's just, so we actually got the inactives in about 10 minutes late because of that.
Did that false positive show up this morning?
Yes, from the point of contact test, yes.
Mike, your defense at the end needed to stop. You're playing without Barr, Daniil Hunter, and then Harrison Smith, but they got the stop when they needed it. What about your defensive effort? Yeah,
I thought we played really, really well early in the ball game. We got a bunch of 3 and outs. The time of possession was really good in our favor. I thought we were good on third downs today. We were good in the red zone. And we didn't give up as many big plays as we had in the past. I think, Gladney got beat on the one long one. And then, then we got misaligned on the other one late in the ball game. But, they battled. We had, there's a couple 4th downs and we had to compete. And it was nice to see them compete and fight, a bunch of young guys. And, we had linebackers in there that have been here less than 2 weeks. 3 of the 5 linebackers didn't start training camp with us, I think is what I was told. So, playing with a lot of young guys. So that's just the way it is.
Mike, obviously your emotions on the sideline when Harrison was ejected told the tale, but what are your thoughts on that now? If it was a penalty, obviously, but the discretion to actually eject him.
Yeah, well, I love Harrison Smith like he's my son, first of all. And, my issue has always be the quarterbacks can throw the ball in the middle of the field and there's no repercussions whatsoever. And Harrison is not a dirty player. He's never been a dirty player. And, I feel like he tried to get his shoulder in there. They told me that the league office ejected him. Give it, they want to give us a penalty, fine, give us a penalty, but don't eject guys. This guy's one of the best players in the NFL and one of the best people in the NFL. So that was, he's not a dirty player. And so that's kind of what irritated me, I guess.
Mike,
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, right after that, Mike, they had 1st and goal 3 times. Harrison's not on the field. What were the keys? I think it was a second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, where it's 1st and goal at the 10, 1st and goal at the 8, 1st goal at the 4.
Yeah, Mark, we spent a lot of time inside the 12-yard line, and we've been decent at it, for the most part. I think our guys understand how to play in that area. Quite honestly, I can't remember the calls if they were blitzes or we're playing zone or playing man to man. I can't really recall, but yeah, it's good. You got to know how to play down there. There's 2 areas there. You have to defend the down and distance, plus you got to defend the goal line. And, so we try to teach our guys that all the time.
And how did George do? I mean, there were times where he looked a little bit lost, but overall made some.
Yeah. It's hard for me to tell. You know me, I see mistakes. I did see a couple there. But you know, he was actually our backup nickel today in case, you know, something happened to Gladney. And so he was preparing most of the week at nickel. And so I had to, you know, I actually asked him on the sideline if he knows what he's doing at safety.
Mike, when you look at the number of broken tackles and yards after contact for Dalvin, what is that? Is that strength, balance? What is it that allows him to gain, you know, positive yards when it looks like he could have negative?
I think it's both of those things plus heart. You know, Dalvin's got great heart and great toughness and physicality, but he's a hard runner and he's got really good balance. You know, I thought our offensive line did a nice job blocking for him today, and he scooted through there on some big time plays.
Mike, after that 55-yard missed field goals, you guys, I think it was 148 yards and 14 plays and those 2 touchdowns. What did you like from Kirk in just the way that he was giving Jefferson, giving Rudolph? Those guys were covered, but he was still throwing it to them and showing that trust in them. Obviously, that one resulted in the touchdown by Thielen.
Yeah. Let me say this first. You know, I told Coobs during the game, I said, go ahead and be aggressive here. You know, don't worry about throwing the football. You know, they were trying to load up on us to stop the run. And I said, don't be afraid to throw the ball. But I thought, you know, Kirk made some great throws. And he got some help from Jefferson and, you know, Thielen was wide open on a couple of them, but Jefferson made a couple tough catches. And I think Rudolph, I didn't see the catch that Rudolph made, but I know there was a lot of guys around him.
Mike, are you sort of encouraging Kirk to make throws like that maybe are more contested? Because sometimes it seemed he sometimes is apprehensive to make those throws over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's just the feeling that you have. I think the more confidence he gets in understanding that he can make those, the more that he'll do them. But you know, at the same time, you know, we have to be smart with the ball. I don't believe we turned the ball over today, did we? So that, you know, that's big too. You know, taking care of the football, time of possession. You know, I thought our offense, we talked about trying to control the game offensively by their time of possession and by getting first downs, and I thought we did that.
What were your
Mike.
emotions as they were kind of coming back there?
Say what?
What were your emotions when they were coming back on the last drive, and what did you kind of observe on that play that was overturned with Hill guarding Fuller?
Yeah, I couldn't see the play. You know, it was on the far corner from where I was. They told me upstairs that the ball hit the ground, and so I was glad of that. My emotions are figure out a way to stop them.
Time for 2 more. Mike, obviously last week the run was working well. Dalvin had some big yards, but it didn't quite open up the passing game like it did today. What was the difference today?
I think we did a good job protecting, and I think that helps a lot. You know, it's hard to remember back who we even played last week, to be honest with you. But I thought we protected well today, and that helps for guys to get open.
Offensively over the past 2 weeks, you've used a lot more pre-snap motion than you did during the first 2 weeks. Is this something you've been able to install late, or why the change?
No, we did a lot during training camp, and you know, it depends on the defense that you're playing, really. If you want to get, you know, like for instance, they had a corner following a guy today, and so you know, if you pre-snap motion, if he goes in motion, it's man to man. If he stays there, it's zone. I mean, you know, it's simple stuff like that.
Just to follow up on Harrison Smith, is there any concern that there could be a suspension? I mean, Andrew Zendaya was suspended for a game 3 years ago.
I don't know. That's not my call.